Yes, sir. We're going to kill them with kindness and some activity in the aftermarket because we got Cisco earnings, Adara. We've got Riley Financial. We'll see. They got a pretty big short float as well. We'll get the Fibonacci Princess on to talk a little, and we'll get to track GameStop, which is still making power moves. Just took that 41 level, as Shawn mentioned. Not a lot by way of earnings, but let's be real. Everything today has started and stopped with the memes.
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
Oh, yeah.
Were you trading the memes today?
I attempted GameStop. Honestly, proud of myself for trying it. And my issue too is I like the 34 bounce. This is coming around I think right before 11. Like the 34 bounce, missed it, then tried it. I was like, oh, it'll bounce off again. Didn't happen. So a little bit just disappointed in myself for not getting involved right when I saw it and then trying to force something later. Didn't work out, but I ended up on the day. Was able to work myself out of it. So sometimes you just have to minimize losses there. I know you were involved in BlackBerry.
I was in BlackBerry, GameStop, AMC.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I actually went to lunch and got stopped out of a wick high on BlackBerry. It would suck, but at the end of the day, and I say this because it's important, when this is happening, everybody goes to it. There've been trading styles on the trading floor where over the years, if there are certain things that are moving and providing opportunities, then everybody's on it. And if you've never traded it before, so what? Try it because at least you have a learning experience. Because what'll happen is if we have a squeeze phase and you don't at least try it out and learn a few things trading it, then the next time it happens, you've wasted the experience because you want to be able to trade it that second time through. When we were looking for that bottom the other day in GameStop after the halt, it was because when it did it last time, we knew what we wanted to do with it. So that's what it's all about. I'm glad you're trading it. It is not for the faint at heart, but the opportunities are going to be there. Just checking back in. We're going to get down to obviously some brass tacks with the different sectors, but GameStop still above 41. I'm looking for 42 to break. That was the big level from the morning. It hasn't happened. But if we're going to check back in on the overall market, and maybe what isn't crypto, maybe what isn't, I'm talking about the hotness, Nvidia, what isn't the meme stocks. Today, silver had its reign.
Oh.
Hi-ho silver up 3.8%. Hey, it's been a hot little moment for them, looking pretty solid. Obviously, if you could look at the sectors, I don't think anybody is surprised to see that SMH is going to be up 3% today. That should surprise absolutely nobody. It was a banger of a day for Nvidia, approaching that 950, not breaking it, but approaching that $950 level. That was absolutely huge. You had AMD on some strength. Notable with SMH up, you did have some weakness in the space. Now, obviously, ARM is new to the market, but ARM was down. So that does bear watching. You got the XLV, XBI, both strong. Gold lagging silver 1.3 to 3.7. I don't know what that's about. Everyone always tells me that the silver market is corrupt for what it's worth. I don't put the tinfoil hat on. That's not really my thing. You had Jets down. You had TAN down. You had wheat down. MSOS, the cannabis names were absolutely flat today. So it wasn't all meme crazy. It's come on. Cannabis can't go up. Crypto was up today. Dogecoin was doing well. And the meme names are going up. What's up with that, MSOS? You're supposed to join the party, too, so it can be an even more fun party, Adara.
Why not? A little bit disrespectful of it to either not get an invite or choose not to come, right? Especially with crypto, as you mentioned, being really strong. I remember CleanSpark was up 10% at 9:30. It was what's happening here? But a lot of the other names joining the party, that not weed.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still waiting on a little bit of, I don't know exactly what time we're going to get this Cisco. If it does end up hitting, we'll let you guys know. It looks like, to me, if you have the numbers, it looks to me like it should be out. And if it's not out, then somebody done screwed up. So if the earnings are not out on Cisco, then whomever is pumping this thing to the upside is wrong. But there goes CSCO, break of 50, it's into 52. I don't actually have the report just yet, Dara, whenever you get a chance. You know what? If I go to the Twitter, see, this is the thing. 1 million people will tweet stuff out. So it looks like it's a beat on EPS, at least according to you've got it? Yeah. Okay, there we go.
So we did get here, we got an EPS beat, so 88 cents versus the expectation of 82 cents. So that definitely is a beat here. Revenue coming in also looks like a beat. 12.7 bill versus 12.53 bill expected. So it looks like a beat from what I'm seeing here across the board. Let's see what else they're seeing here. Seeing 2024 guidance, full year 2024 guidance earnings per share gap 246 to 251. Non-GAAP 369 to 371. See what else I'm seeing here. Oh, saying that acquisition of Splunk, including financing costs, had a negative impact of 1 cent to non-GAAP per share for the third quarter. So Splunk costs there.
There you go. And Cisco up at 51.9. If you pull out the daily chart, it is a clean breakout through 50. It's been in a downward spiral on the daily chart, and 52.5. 52.5 looks like the big level. If it can punch through that, it's got some serious upside tomorrow. I mean, obviously, we don't usually look at Cisco outside of earnings, so tomorrow is going to be a big day for it if it can punch through the 52.5. Remember, this all started out with a CPI number that was in line that the market liked. So if some tech names and some names start to break out of bottoms, Alibaba's already done that, a name like Cisco can get going. You've had, the NASDAQ just got to highs, and there's names that haven't really been participating in the tech space. Cisco has been one of them, so if it starts breaking back out, you can get some catch-up. The way that these bull rallies tend to happen is you get led by all the strong names, and then eventually, when you're breaking out those tops, it's often some other names that start participating in the rally and playing a little bit of catch-up. And if you're only ever looking at the big boys, you're going to miss out. So good look for Cisco there, looking pretty good. Huang family just said in the chat, except Tesla. Oh. Well, I mean, not everybody's been up. Tesla's in its own path. I just looked over at the chat. It's like, everyone has to be punking Tesla. Yeah, it's in a downward trend. But at least Tesla, since earnings, has been strong. And it's back above the 50-period moving average for its own. So the earnings are out on Cisco. For now, it's good. Just don't ever overreact to that first move. Yes, it's at 52, but 52.5 is a brick wall that it has to punch through on that daily chart. And we want to respect it. Amazon apparently is pumping to the upside as well. I mean, it could be a little bit of sympathy. Let me just quickly get a look here at Amazon. It's only $1 up. I'd suspect it's probably going to be some sympathy over there. You're going to have a few names that are probably going. Before we get to Tammy, I do want to double check on GameStop. Still at 40, so no break. It did get to 41 after market, but no break at that 42 level just yet. So it looks to me like it's not going to. Yeah, that's going to be a nothing burger. That need to break 42 almost right away. There's the punch through that level on the daily in Cisco. It just got to 53, and the first pullback happens above that 52.5. So far, so good. On earnings, my favorite thing on earnings, Adara, is when a stock starts trading in a new range. And if it doesn't trade in a new range, I tend not to be as excited about it because you can trade inside and have these support and resistance levels, but I want something going somewhere new where people's stops have been run and then you get some continuation.
Makes sense, yeah. A little bit more interesting there for sure if you have more levels to play off of than the old range, right? And I guess you could also use the old range as support, resistance, and other levels to play off of.
Yeah, I like it when everyone's having to guess at the new range. When everyone can look at all the same lines in the chart and be like, yeah, this is where the buy is, this is where the sell is, that's not as exciting. When it goes somewhere that everyone's like, what the heck's happening out here, blue skies above, those are the breaks I like to be involved in. But Cisco right back into 52. So it's out and about, up, down, round and round. I mean, that's what it is in earnings season. So just be careful buying tops in the aftermarket. We say this time and time again. You can get yourself in a world of trouble if you're just blindly buying these tops. I think you have to have it early, or you have to wait for things to calm down a little bit. Doge is pulling as well, Havana Woody said. I'm just excited that I saw a quote in our system on Doge, which means I might get to do some beta testing on Dogecoin. I used to love doing beta testing. You try out the new things that are coming into the system, and you get to be the first person to do it. But I know we have Tammy soon. You guys let me know when the Fibonacci Princess, she is locked and loaded and ready to go. So we're back with my favorite baseball fan guest, and that is the Fibonacci Princess. Tammy, are you with me, and how are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing, Neil? Great to see you again.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm glad to be here doing it with you one more time. Gonna get to fill in for Shawn. Basically, the way it works is like his coaching schedule for baseball is like the Wednesdays and the Thursdays. It works great for me because my daughter has baseball on Tuesdays and soccer on Mondays. So it's easy enough for me to step in. So I think we're gonna get to talk a lot here. And I'm in a good mood because it was a great day of trading the last couple of days on the meme stocks. They're fun and they're also lucrative.
That's awesome. You know, I haven't gotten involved yet, but I'm very interested, to say the least. I am very, very interested. So I definitely have some pulled up for you here today. And whenever you have anything like that, I want to hear about it for sure.
Well, that's what I love and what's interesting about bringing you on today is what I found a lot of times, you'll have trading strategies, let's just say, that work for your more traditional stocks, for lack of a better term. So, maybe I'm using VWAP retracements on Nvidia when it's trending or something like that, or like you'll use Fibonacci's on a host of names. But I've found when the meme stocks go crazy, some of that I'll throw out the window for some pure momentum plays like playing off of halt levels, which is something that it's just literally the price that it happened to halt at. And then if it starts showing support after it reopens, you just literally will buy off of it and go with the momentum. That's very different. I'm not doing that on regular names. So I always wonder what is applicable from your normal trading strategies over to something like a GameStop or AMC, if anything. I mean, is this anything that you've
Well, to be honest with you,
used?
I'm still looking at support and resistance. So for me, I'm still defining my risk with my work. So there's not really anything that's different other than the fact that I know that it could be a lot riskier, obviously. So, but when I'm looking at AMC, I really like that $4 area because it is correlating with the 50 simple moving average. And that 5, which is an EMA, exponential moving average, is above that 13, which is the red exponential moving average. So, as long as your risk is defined, I guess you can take some of those lotto shots. Also, when something's $4, it doesn't seem to have the same sting as when something's obviously a lot more expensive. So, AMC's got my attention. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it has had, earnings, worse, 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 worse. I would honestly rather see it have had some earnings where it was doing better and better, obviously. So that is the only red flag that I'm seeing here is that it doesn't look good. So for me, this is a lottery ticket because I know that even though I've got price around $4, we know that you could wake up in the morning and it's at 60 cents and that it is what it is. You can place stops, but you're going to have slippage sometimes and you need to be able to handle whatever risk you put on.
Yeah, I've actually, a couple of times in the show, I've said, like, if you wanted something adjacent to this whole meme craze, like, it all started because Roaring Kitty was on Reddit, and Reddit's an IPO. They were a solid company that actually has given you a report that the market already liked, and it's going to somewhat go with the meme names. It's not going to give the same kind of percentage moves. Another one I've tried to mention to the viewers is Novavax. They were literally going to go bankrupt, and they got essentially a bailout from Sanofi, and they've got a massive short flow. So those can work. That said, AMC's where the volume is, and you pointed out a level that the $4 level. I tend to agree with you, not just because that's where things have started out from as well, but that $5 level today, Tammy. Like if you were looking at one price to sort of go with, it basically, I call it liquidity grabbed everyone when it broke the $5 level, meaning anyone that wanted to go short as a day trader. It's like, yay, we're going to go from $5 to $4. Let's work into a short position. Oops. And then it made that higher low right again. So clearly that $5 level has shown you that there's some buyers in there and some shorts have already gotten burned a couple of times at that particular price. So I feel like tomorrow, that's the first price I'm going to look at. Myself. I'm glad to hear that you like it as well. But I appreciate you saying it is a bit of a lottery ticket. It's a trade, not necessarily a hold.
Yeah, because this is all based on hype, right? Not really the strength of AMC.
No, 100%. Let's pivot to something which I'm going to hope isn't just about hype, and that's Nvidia. Now, I've heard a million.
Nvidia, yes.
Yeah, look, I've heard a lot of people say, okay, AI bubble. And the amount of times I've heard this is finally the top on Nvidia, Nvidia is going to die, and blah, 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 the bubble's going to burst. There's been some pullbacks in the stock. But the upward trend on like a weekly time frame, they all look like, until the recent one, they all look like drops in the bucket. The last one felt like it could be it, and all we've done is make like this is like it's not even a V shape, this is like a Y shape, and you're right back up into those highs. So we're gonna get Nvidia on the 22nd, those earnings, and they've been an absolute rocket ship, almost breaking 950, approaching that 1,000 mark. Again, I'm assuming they're going to have to do a split. What are your thoughts on these earnings coming up, and what levels are interesting to you on, I'd say, the most important stock in the market right now?
Well, I'll be honest with you. So because we were still way above that 200 simple moving average, which is the pink line you see at the bottom, when we hit and held support on the 19th of April, I did tell my clients, you can be a buyer here, but it's going to be an uphill battle because you're going to have resistance from previous swings in the market. But what I say always, the great thing about my work as the Fibonacci princess is that I help you define your risk. And this setup zone was clearly defined at 747 to 755. So it hit, held. Okay, and we've had a move up since then. We've had pullbacks off of resistance on the way, only to pull into more support and continue the move up. We are up against some price resistance right now, but to me, it looks like we're trying to push through that. And ultimately, my targets on the upside are 1033 and 1108. Okay, so what I told my clients this morning is I want to see us push through this, which it looks like it could happen tomorrow. Then look for a pullback for more price support to enter the trade, and then you can use these targets on the upside as your targets. And the great news is at this point, we've gotten through the uphill battle. We've got all the moving averages on our side. There's still plenty of time to make profit in Nvidia. All you need to do is make sure you define that risk. And I'll show you, this is what I do. I do this live in my room. I have up 8 charts, and one of them is the Nvidia 30-minute chart. And here's an opportunity. Here's where my clients have gotten 2 opportunities recently, one on the 9th of May and one on the 13th of May, to get involved in this move up if they missed that initial bounce on the 19th of April. So this is what I do. Your risk was clearly defined here at 882. Then we pulled back, made a higher high, so I had more risk at 885. And, you know, off of both of those swings, we've met the targets on the upside. Of course, you have different targets on different time frames. That larger swing, these were the targets. For that smaller swing, these were the targets. So getting a little extended here on the 30-minute chart, and we're up against some daily resistance. So like I said, I'd like to see us push through this, then get a nice pullback similar to the ones we've had before, and we continue that move up.
So just one question. Obviously, this is a trade that's working for you right now, and for anybody that's been following along with your system. So anytime someone's technical in their system, it's like, okay, we get here, we do this, this is my risk, this is where my stop is, you've got your profit targets, it's all laid out. You've got a plan. It's just following along the plan, which is fantastic. So my question to you would be, they do report next week. Is there anything, do you ever adjust, like would you move a stop up now that it's in the money because the earnings report's coming out? Would you say, well, we're in the money, do I want to move up my take profit even higher because the report's coming out and I'm already in the money? Do you adjust things the day before or a couple of days before earnings?
Well, you know how I am about earnings. I don't sit through earnings, but I think we will continue to have a run into earnings. But yes, I always say, please trail up your stops, lock in that profit. You never know what's going to happen, right? And it is getting extended on the lower time frame charts. So yeah, I would say, hey, listen, you're never going to go broke taking the green, right?
I love that. So I guess I'm saying it wrong because I always say no one ever went broke taking profit, but you can't go broke taking the green. I like that. Profit green.
That's why we make the extension targets green, because they mean take your money here. You're getting extended, or it's time. We could have a pullback. And many moves tend to terminate at extensions of prior swings, and that's why those numbers are what they are. This number is 1.272 extension of that low. And then the next one is the golden ratio, 1.618. So 618 and 1.618 are your golden ratios.
Ooh, now you're getting all math on us with the golden ratio. In my house, to teach my daughter the concept of nonlinear movement to a 7-year-old, we wrote down the basically the actual Fibonacci sequence is there.
Oh.
It's one of those, it's just a nerd thing because she was talking about patterns, and it's really difficult to understand. Like she can do like 1, 2, 4, 8, like it's that simple. But when you start looking at the actual Fibonacci sequence, it's just a different type of nonlinear movement that she can wrap her head around, and she sees the curve. She doesn't get it, but I think she understands growth a little bit better after she's watched it. I love it when you talk that, and you're getting a lot of love in the chat.
Well, I was
Rivian
at the
Millionaire,
doctor
calm down,
yesterday,
buddy.
My dermatologist didn't even know what Fibonacci was, and I started trying to tell him, and he was like, oh, okay, all right. If your daughter slightly understands, she's doing better than my dermatologist.
But you know what? In the markets, if you want to make money in the markets, it's really important to not only think linearly, and you have to have exponential movement and that kind of a brain. It's so important, whether it's investing or whether it's trading, to understand when things start to really explode, like the force of nature. It's like that's why things compound. That's why moves accelerate. There is an actual reason behind it. That's why we love your work, Tammy. And look, Nvidia, I know, is top of mind for everybody. And so I'm going to put you on the spot. Usually it's every couple of weeks that we're back. So I'm going to get to talk to you after Nvidia earnings, where it can't lose now your last call on Nvidia, but maybe we'll get to see post earnings an approach for Nvidia. I think that'll be interesting as well, because now that you've already had the run, it's like a what's next moment for them. Of course, that remains to be seen.
Absolutely. And something else that I want to do definitely is take a look at what's going on the monthly chart and see what I see there also. Because I'll be honest with you, if we start just, getting a little bit too crazy to the upside, I'm going to start looking for there to be a bigger pullback, because I also like to look at much higher time frames. I mean, I look at anything from a monthly chart to a 1-minute chart.
Yeah,
so
and
I can get as macro or micro as you want.
I mean, looking just for a brief second, I'm going to keep you here for a minute. Looking at that monthly chart, I see exactly what you're getting at. Because if you look at this last move up, it's gotten so far extended. Like the last pushes up, like at least when you made that last break, and I'm talking about mid-2023 in here, it didn't extend too far away from the previous high. And then it consolidated. This has been very, very different, this last little rally. And if we do push 1,000, I mean, yeah, it does get a little crazy. That said, you have to have a very good plan of action if you want to short this name.
Yeah, and hey, listen, here's the thing. I'm not saying short it. I'm saying don't step out. I don't encourage people to step out in front of freight trains. I tell my husband that all the time, because he'll see something going straight up and he wants to short it, and I'm like, I don't have a short setup for you. I did not tell you to short it. I told you that I would start getting a little nervous about buying when it's so extended.
Yeah, that's of course important. I always just say that because we have the viewers out there. If we're like, we're trimming some Nvidia, I don't like buying these highs. It's a short, let's go. It's not the same thing. You can not want to buy something, but that doesn't mean that you want to short it. There's two very different things. So before we get you out,
clear.
Before we get you out of here, Tammy, of course, thank you for everything that you do. The crowd absolutely loves you as usual. But is there anything that you want to leave us with here? You've already dropped a wealth of knowledge. Of course, everyone can find you at Trader Tammy on the X machine. And of course, your class is available in your system, available to anybody to catch those Nvidia winners. But is there anything else that we haven't hit on that you wanted to touch on?
I'll tell you, I did like this setup on GameStop. I mean, I don't know that I'm getting involved myself, but for those of you that are out there that are really interested, I like anywhere from 21 to 31, but I really like that 618, that golden ratio number with symmetry around that 30-31 area. I have been looking at plug. I think it's kind of interesting. And we've got that 50 moving day average that's correlating with that $3 area. So I think that's kind of interesting also.
Well, you've made a lot of people happy to identify levels on both GameStop, but also Plug, which was on our watch list this morning, and then I think it disappointed when the meme stocks actually caught a bid, and then Plug Power actually did not. It was some Faraday Future that ended up going. But thank you for that look, because I know there were a lot of people trading Plug this morning, and I feel like there was a lot of bamboozlement, for lack of a better term, in that name. So you want to find some levels that you can actually trade off of.
I've been kind of surprised about it also, but there again, it's pretty inexpensive. So I would risk all the way down to that $2.50 area. And if it goes below there, I think we'll either take out that low from the 25th of April or at least retest it. So, you know, at least I'm giving you some stuff. And I can put these, I'll put these on on Twitter, X, at Trader Tammy 1. You can see, I'll post all these charts for y'all.
Oh, we appreciate that so much. I know the viewers are going to appreciate that as well. And that 250 bottom, right around the earnings low that it just put in. So they reported, and it was 241 that was the bottom. So you get that confluence as well. So you spotted a good one there, Tammy.
Yeah.
Once again, there she is, the Fibonacci Princess. Thank you so much for coming through. Enjoy talking to you. I can't wait to do so again, hopefully in a couple of weeks. And best of luck going into the Nvidia earnings. Obviously, can't turn into a loser, but can always turn into a bigger winner, right? That's a lot of fun.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for having me again, and I'll talk to all of you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much, Tammy, and appreciate everybody with the fantastic comments in there in the chat. Great guest, super smart, has a system, knows their system, and trades their system. No matter whether you're a day trader, swing trader, long-term investor, if you have a plan of action, you've just got to follow it. If you took the time to develop it, you might as well take the time to stick with it. Truer words couldn't be spoken to Dara.
I like that. Yeah, that's something I definitely want to try to adapt to my own trading plan as well. Thank you so much as well to Bears versus Bulls for putting Tammy's link there in the chat so you can take a look at that as well. Thank you so much, Trader Tammy, Fibonacci Princess, for coming on here.
I've done it again. Like, I feel like I wanted to review some things. Like, I had the plan, we'll talk to Tammy, but then she drops a bunch of science, and then you just want to sit there and listen. When people have something to teach you or talking, I just take the moment to want to listen to what they're saying, and I'm not even looking at the clock. So apparently it's already 4:29. We did go over, I want to quickly maybe double check Cisco for everybody there. We did go over the meme names. It's not like we didn't talk about them, so at least we went over that. Oh, really? Cisco's still holding that 52. So underneath that 52.5, but it's still holding on to 52 even. But let's get a roll call before we got to get out of here, have a little bit of fun. First off on the roll call, shout out to Adara for trading the meme stocks. Because I'll tell you this, and it's not to name names, but like not everybody that sits on the floor will watch these things go around crazy and want to take the opportunity to win and lose or draw trading them because it's just moving around too fast. You've got to take your shots.
Yeah.
You just have to do it because otherwise the next time they come around, you're just not going to be able to do them. So first one, shout out to you. Second one, shout out to Bears versus Bulls, the best moderator in the world. We can do it twice for him. And we have a big family out there. But I'm starting with Huang family, who just said Nvidia price target 12.50. I'm down with that. So we'll start the roll call with you. Monty G, what up? Love you. Comp SRX, that's awfully nice of you to say. The only two people that think that are my wife and my daughter, and now you. Neil has a nice smile. A couple of people say it. I think I have a terrible smile. Thank you very much. You're very nice. Just in time, Doge is getting hot, and we got the quote at Real Trading. I'm excited for that. Charlie Taft, Toilet Brush, what up? Sebastian, what up? Rivian Millionaire, Krishna in the house, Chase Bands, Mike Pena, BGZ, Let's Go Meme Stonk Season, Ollie, T Daddy, Bears versus Bulls. We know we love you already. We'll say it 3 times. Mark L, Havana Woody, what up? More Dogecoin love. Everybody really likes Dogecoin, and it's going to be interesting when we start to trade it because we've really only had Bitcoin and we trade some Coinbase, but we're going to get Doge in the system at some point. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. Q emotionally damaged. Emotional damage. Comp SRX. We already said you, Sebastian, but we'll say it a second time. John Knox in the house. Fosholi. Bristol in there. William James. Tammy is in the chat saying a thanks to everybody. Oh my goodness. She's brilliant and she's kind as well. It's not even fair. DJ Marshall, 4L Taz, S. Samuel, Michael P, M.O., Janik Patel, what up? NYC Urbanista, what up? MF. I don't know why Nightbot's still doing stuff, but we got the markets streaming the dashboard right now, apparently. Bright Awakening, TH, Elon Musk loves Doge. Yes, he does. He needs to get the stock price up. Let's focus on that. Elon, I want my Tesla shares going higher. Francis Dela Cruz in the house, the Piper, and I'm a little bit out of breath, and it's 4:30. Whew. There we go. A little bit of roll call action. A fantastic guest as always. The crypto names were moving. Everyone's watching that Dogecoin, and the meme stocks have been going ham. Adara, oh my goodness. And we still have Walmart earnings tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah. Walmart tomorrow morning, JD tomorrow morning, Baidu tomorrow morning. So if you're looking for retail or some Chinese EV, or not Chinese EVs, Chinese ADRs, the market will have you covered. So definitely stay tuned. Thank you so much, Neil, for hosting the market recap here and killing it with that roll call.
Thank you
happy to
so
be here.
much.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't even remember Baidu, JD. I totally forgot about those names. That's why Adara's on point, and she'll have all of that recap for everybody tomorrow morning before we even start our day trading. That's what the family does here. We're back at 8:30 to trade these meme names, earnings names, crypto names, whatever, Faraday future or future Faraday, whatever the heck FFIE is, we'll trade that sucker too. We're Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30.